Santino, there are reports that Filipino boxer and IBF super flyweight champion Jerwin Ancajas will face WBO super flyweight title holder Kazuto Ioka of Japan in a unification contest. According to MP Promotions chief Sean Gibbons, the negotiations have already started. If both camps are able to iron things out, the bout will be held in Japan on New Year's Eve this year. Santino, isang malaking development ito lalo na matagal nang naghahabol ng signature fight itong si Jerwin Ancajas. I believe he called out every champion at 115 pounds. Name it. Juan Francisco Estrada, Sri Sakit Surong Visay, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, at iba pa. Now, Santino, tingin mo ba ito yung tipong dapat wag nang pakawalan ng MP Promotions?
Definitely no, kasi yun nga, like you said, signature fight, big name. While si Kazuto Ioka hasn't exactly reached that kind of star status as the names that you've mentioned, title holder siya sa 115 eh. So, yes, part of the elite siya ngayon doon sa weight class na yun. And for someone like Jerwin Ancajas who, yun nga, as you said, has been looking for big fights, what bigger fight is there now than a unification bout against a fighter who hasn't been defeated since losing to Donnie Nietes back in, I think, 2018. New Year's Eve din yun, di ba? So, yeah, if it's going to be, like you said, if it's going to be a New Year's Eve contest, napakalaking fight niyan for, not only for si Ioka, but also for Angka. So, who's, yeah, parang, as good as Angkas has been during his run, medyo naging stagnant. Wala ka masyado nakikitang big names sa kanyang resume. And I think a big win over Kazuto Ioka would do wonders for his stock, no, in terms of yung position niya right now or sa in Philippine boxing.
Santino, you mentioned about the magnitude or the tradition ng New Year's Eve events. And alam naman natin to sa combat sports, sa mga hindi nakakaalam, isang tradisyon sa combat sports in Japan na magkaroon ng isang event tuwing New Year's Eve. And nakita naman natin yan sa Pride Fighting Championship, ngayon with Rising.
Now, kahit nga pro wrestling, di ba?
Exactly. Now, Kazuto Ioka has been featured or has fought on almost every New Year's Eve show since 2011. And yun yan, nabanggit mo kanina, the most notable among Philippine boxing fans was in 2018 when he fought Donnie Nietes. And luckily for Donnie Nietes, he walked away with the victory and the WBO Super Flyweight title. Unfortunately, he vacated that title after winning against Kazuto Ioka. Now, like I mentioned a while ago, fighting on New Year's Eve is a tradition in Japan. Do you think now with this kind of magnitude, this exposure, plus the two titles are on the line, you mentioned earlier that it will help raise the stock of Jerwin Ancajas as a boxer. But do you think it would help him or it would, na kumbinsihin siya to stay at 115? Kasi, I understand the frustration on the part of Jerwin Ancajas kasi hindi nga siya nakakakuha ng big fight dito sa weight class na to. And a few months ago or a few weeks ago, ang nasabi niya parang he is now entertaining the idea of moving up to 118 kasi nga nagkakagulo sila doon sa bantamweight division dahil may John Riel Casimero, may Nonito Donaire at iba pa. Do you think etong laban na to, kung manalo siya, would convince him to stay at 115 pounds?
It's possible. It's very possible. Siyempre, nakuha mo na yung isa pang title. You have two more may dalawa ka pang pwede habulin sa weight class na yun. So why not? Since nahawak mo na kunwari, if ever, IBF tsaka WBO, ba't di mo na habulin yung dalawa pa para maging undisputed champion ka, diba? But then again, it could also be something like parang, sige, nagawa ko na to. Naging unified champion na ako sa weight class na to. Siguro nga, try ko magharap ng bigger names sa bantamweight. Kasi, to be fair, para mas maraming bigger names na naglalaro-laro around sa bantamweight. So I wouldn't blame Jerwin if he decided to, if kunwari makasamantong laban na to, ito yung parang swan song niya at 115, tapos pag manalo siya dito, akit na siya ng 118 dahil lang minapatunayan na siya at 115. like you said earlier, 5 years na siya nasa division na to. He's been dominant, yes, but there hasn't been a lot of noise. Maybe if he joins that, yun nga, sabi mo, nag-aagulo. Kung makigulo siya doon sa 118, baka lalong mag-benefit sa kanya kasi mas maingay. You have guys like Janriel Casimero who's an attention magnet kasi because of his charisma and his trash talk. You have Nonito Donaire, one of arguably the best Filipino boxers in the world. And now if you put Jerwin Ancajas, who's to be fair, Jerwin is also one of the best Filipino boxers to ever do it. It would be interesting to see those three, yung top 3 Filipino boxers right now in one weight division, di ba? Parang kung Filipino boxing fan ka, you'd be interested to see sino ba talaga dyan sa tatlong yun ang pinamagaling, di ba?
Santino, right now, may malaking void because of Manny Pacquiao calling it a career last September. Now, do you think if Jerwin wins this fight, it may enshrine him as the new poster boy of boxing? You said in the factors that I mentioned a while ago, kasi New Year's Eve event, unification title fight, and alam mo yun, talagang ever since siguro mga 2018, parang ginugroom na siya as, the next in line or the successor of Senator Manny Pacquiao. Do you think meron na siyang parang he makes a case for being the next poster boy of Philippine boxing?
He does make a case, but as with anything, there's always, in terms of poster boys, kumbaga, we see it sa mga fight promotion, sa mga there's always that one guy who has all the accolades, kumbaga. And then there's one guy who may not be as successful or just as successful, but as also more charismatic, more
Exactly.
outgoing, more loud, kumbaga. If Jerwin Ancajas becomes a 2 promotion champion, definitely he's the best boxer in the Philippines has right now with the departure of Senator Manny. But to say that he's the poster boy of Philippine boxing, I wouldn't say so, because to be fair, let's choose between yung top 3 boxers in the Philippines na para sa akin. You have si Jerwin, you have si Nonito Donaire, and you have si Janriel. Nonito, on his merits alone, parang para sa akin siyang default poster boy na, because like I said, top 5 all-time Filipino boxer, has hit a somewhat a resurgence sa career niya ngayon. And right now, Donito is a feel-good story. Kasi people counted him out
Resurgence,
before. Exactly, di ba? He was being counted out before he faced si Ubali. Over the hill na yan. Tandaan na yan. Nakaswerte lang siya kay Inoue eh. But then again what he showed against Ubali, may flash pa. Si Filipino flash, di ba? So, para sa akin, right now, with the departure of Senator Manny, Nonito Donaire is your number 1 or your poster boy for Filipino boxing. But in terms of accolades, if Jerwin does become the IBF and WBO champion, you have to give him the mantle of being the best Filipino boxer right now, because he has the accolades to back it up. But the idea of the face of Philippine boxing right now, I don't see that happening for him. Not unless he proves himself more. He becomes more dominant. He becomes a household name with Filipino boxing, with not Filipino boxing fans, but Filipino sports fans.
Well said, Santino. And siguro ang dapat munang mangyari ay matuloy itong laban na to. And we're crossing our fingers that both camps will be able to get the deal done in the weeks to come.